Hello everyone and welcome to this week's round 11 review. I didn't have the greatest week with a score of 2,171, falling a decent amount in the ranks, 142 to slide down to 225 for the season. So top 10's probably out of range now, depending how we go during the buys. It's a great time to catch up. And top 50 is probably what I'm aiming for. Not a great week by some people. I think JD had a similar week to me, and George didn't have a great week either. But DL had a good week, so that's good. Going to look at the team. I had the vice captain on Bontempelli, but decided I thought Grundy was a good option, even though Reece Stanley was laid in. I thought Grundy was pretty safe for 120 and had the ceiling to go and get me an extra like 40 points. Unfortunately, pinch nerve. He should be fine from what I've seen, but yeah, unfortunately he was subbed out on a 70. I think he subbed out on 70, but he got scaled up to a 76, which is not ideal, but that's what you get for not taking a 125. In the back line, you take a 92 from Rory Laird. He's been really consistent this year. 105 average, top defender, you like that. Jake Lloyd has provided one of his biggest scores of the year, which is nice to see him. Unfortunately, it's come at a time where people can jump on at a low price. Sorry, my voice. So that's unfortunate. Still at 120, like to see that. People should probably jump on him after the buy. Him and Whitfield are both great options around that 500 to 530k mark. Short, you take a ton from Short. I think he's just a keeper, one you got to ride out because options are getting expensive really quick. Ridley, I think he might be in a void now. You hope for a 100 to a 105 average from him, but yeah, with the round 13 buy, he's not someone I'd be looking to bring in if you don't. Obviously, I think Whitfield, who's 20k more, is a much better option, along with Stewart, who's like 50k more, who's got the best buy. Rookie roulette hurt me in the back line. I thought North usually leak points to defenders, so I'll field Highmore, and in hindsight, Freo do leak points to defenders as well, and Jones has shown more than Highmore has, in my opinion, before this week, so I probably should just field Jones, but at least we didn't field Cozzy. But yeah, that's a rookie roulette costing me, 44 points already, I think. Yeah, 44 points. And then the ruck cost me like 50, so that's like nearly 100 points already. But yeah, Clary 140, like to see it. Bont 125, you take it. Unfortunately, it was the VC, and I was too blindsided by Grundy's ceiling to take it, but McRae 145, great, you love to see it. Lions 82 is disappointing with Brisbane having such a big win over the Giants, but he did score 129 last week, so he'll be a fine selection, I think. Hopefully Neil doesn't affect him too much when he comes back. But yeah, hopefully Lions can stay at around that 110, 115. May have paid overs, but you never know. He could stay at what he was. Merritt 120. He's a good player to bring in, 540k with a 110 average. Just his buy is a bit concerning. The middle buy. The first buy is really easy for the mids. So, yeah, people like Took, Titch are decent targets. The problem with them is I don't know how would you like them after the buys. Like Took seems okay, but Titch hasn't really seemed to pan out with it going 80, 140, 80, 140, and Jolly has slowed it down a bit. And Duncan got concussed and Guthrie's injured. So yeah, that's unfortunate. Brayshaw, one you ride out. Probably won you luxury sideways, but one thing I like about Brayshaw is his post-bye fixture. They have the doggies this week, which I just hope he doesn't do terrible. And then he has Gold Coast, Collingwood, Carlton, Hawthorn, which is a very nice next four after the Dogs. One thing with Brayshaw is with the COVID breakout in Victoria, games might be obviously games getting switched around, so maybe he gets more home games. I think we should be okay. I think maybe this week will be a fixture swap, and then we might be back to normal. But yeah. On the Friday night, I benched Jordan, and I had the E on him, and hoping McRae could be a loop. I thought Dogs mids, maybe Jordan has an off game, doesn't go, like, he could go 50, and I believe Poulter, however you say it, could go more than that. Unfortunately, he went 85, which is good for his cash gen, but Finlay ended up being the sub. I think either way, if I had to bench one of Robertson and Poulter, it probably would have been Robertson. So, lost 19 points, but realistically probably would have lost 19 either way. We fielded Poulter over RCD, so that's good. Rucks we already been over. Grundy, pinch nerve, he should be fine. If he's not, options I like are Nit Nat, Riley O'Brien, and Ned Reeves. Gorn, 120, you take it. He's going to drop to like 570k, so you take a 245 average from them. But if you started with someone like a Hickey and got up to like Grundy when he was dropped a little bit, you'll probably be in a better position. But Flynn, he'll be out this week. He's got the bye and he's got a 75 break even. I think you can hold, but for me, I'm just going to trade because I want to get some upgrades done. The Kangaroos defenders in Zeeble and Hall combining for a 225. You take that. Martin was my in this week, 95. He scored the lowest out of the 3 targets I was looking at, but he definitely provided for his value, so you take that. 3 targets I was looking at last week was Martin, Dale, and Steele. Unfortunately, Steele went 150, so that hurts, and I'm going to have to get him in this week. 15k more, but that's okay. Impey, I believed he was getting moved up on the midfield a bit and forward. Maybe if one of those roles that just doesn't suit Impey, so hopefully that was just a test run from Clarko, and he's back to his normal role behind the ball next week after his bye. Warner's one that's going to go this week. He's just slowly leaking cash, and I am getting another Swan, but for now, at the moment, and you might know who it is. But yeah, Conman, he's been a failed loophole. He's just going to cost me a spot during the buys, so that's annoying. But we live and we learn. Waitman with his 53 and Waterman with his 54. We take those scores. I missed out on 1 point. What do you do? I don't really care. But yeah, this week's just a bit of down week. My voice is kind of going, it feels like. But anyway, this week, the trades I've planned on doing have been, we're going to get rid of Flynn. We're going to get rid of Warner, and we're going to get rid of Cozzy. Now, options for downgrade options this week are Reeves, who has the bye, and then there's also, if I could spell, Coleman Jones, who looks good, and Lynch is out for 6 weeks, so he should have decent job security, but he has the bye next week, so he has the bad bye. And Bianco, who's the one I'm bringing in. Well, I think Reeves is probably the best. I'm going to bring in Bianco because I think my plan will be to bring in Reeves next week and then the round 14 bye, I'll likely bring in Jones. So then I have a rookie for each week. Obviously I'm going to bring in Jack Steele. He's good cover for my round 13 bye. And yeah, he's probably going to get back in form, hopefully. Now, 474k for a forward is not good. Now, I can't remember if I talked about this pick, but if I did, I talked down on it. There's no one here I really like. Side bottom, Martin I've already got. We scroll. Carl Langford's one that's interesting, but he also has the bad buy for me. And then we get to 398k, Isaac Heaney. He has the good buy, and like Aaron Hall, he's a durability risk, but he has the ceiling. I'm not thrilled with it, but at 400, I think we need a 400k forward that can be a potential keeper, and it's looking like Heaney's going to be my guy. Yeah, if we look at this, how he's actually been putting up decent numbers. Round 4, he broke his hand. Look, and he was getting he had 44 points in 36 minutes, which is not terrible. 54, he was coming back from a broken hand, and the 19, I think he was playing a different role. It was just a really bad role, and that was a terrible week. But now he's back into a better role. He can score better, and he's just good buy cover for the round 13 buy for me. Now, this is my round 14 buy. Now, next week my plan will be, unfortunately, I'd love to hold Robertson through the buys, but my round 13 buy is really hurting. So what I'll plan to do next week is I'll trade Robertson and likely RCD, and I'll probably go move Combin into the forward line, get Ned Reeves, and move Laird or Bianco, doesn't really matter who, into the midfield, and I'll get Whitfield. And then, yeah, that's just my plan. And that will leave me with 11 trades. And how many upgrades will I have to do? I'd have one in the forward line, one in the midfield, and I think my back line would be full. So it'd leave me with 2 upgrades, I think, to do. And then I also have all these trades for players like Heaney and Hall who get injured. But yeah, that's my plans for this week. I think I'm going to go Oliver into Bontempelli this week. I've thought about Steele captain, but I trust Bont. It's versus Freo, but it is in WA, so that's a scary thing. If we look at rankings, first last week has actually dropped, and he had like a 500 point lead. So in the past 2 weeks he's dropped. So that's insane. I thought he was in such a good position. That just proves to you how much 2 weeks can turn things around. So I've not given up faith yet, but I feel like it is very unlikely. So first is currently sitting on 25,328, and where it doesn't want to scroll past here, and I'm not relying on my internet to do so. But yeah, he's on 25,32.8, I think. So we're like 500 behind. So hopefully we can have some good weeks during the buys. Obviously this is a week I'd like to rise, but I think this is a week I'm more likely to stay stagnant. And hopefully my buy cover in round 13, my plans for buy cover in round 13 pay off, and then hopefully I can be okay in round 14. And round 14 is likely a week where I trade. I finally move on from Jordan, I finally move on from Poulter, and I might move on from Highmore. But yeah, plans on who I'm bringing in. I already said about Whitfield. Steele, obviously, this week, as long as nothing too dramatic changes. And my last midfielder is likely going to be one of Walsh, Neil, or Fife. I'm tempted to go with Neil over Walsh, just so maybe not so many people go on Neil and have that little Neil pod, and maybe he can go on a streak of 130 and get his price up. I'm not too confident on that. Sorry. But yeah, that's it for me. Yeah, I don't really have much to say from here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Give us a like. And yeah. See ya.